Once upon a time in an African village called Umuku, precisely in Ebio kindred, there lived an elderly man called Ekwe. He was a traditionalist to the core. He strongly believed that every activities and occasions in the kindred must be committed to the ancestors and the kindred's deity. Every member of the kindred, no matter their religion, must acknowledge the ancestors and deity, he had insisted. Until his death, Oha used to be the oldest man in Ebio kindred. Though a traditionalist, he remained tactful in his deals with his kinsfolk on matters of faith. Oha would pray and pour wines to the gods and ancestors at the houses of fellow traditionalists and Christians who would not mind during ceremonies. But in the compounds of Christians whose brows were furrowed at any fetishism, Oha would drink the whole wine to maintain decorum and avoid any disenchantment. At his death, Cletus became the oldest in the kindred and assumed the role. He was a Christian and was frightfully irresolute in his function. He wittingly paid homage to the gods and ancestors to the delight of the traditionalists at their ceremonies, but would always remain fidgety at the homes of fellow Christians when called upon to pray at ceremonies. Once at a fellow Christian's house during a merry gathering, Cletus prayed and was about to drink the wine when his eyes met Ekwe's disdainful glare. Feverishly, he drank and left a little in the cup. In a way that would not attract attention from the host, he sprayed the remaining content on the ground. His mood seemed as though he was saying, "Let the gods accuse me of stinginess but not being remiss or neglectful." His actions became unendurable at another fellow Christian's house when, after praying like a Christian, he held the cup of wine still and was fretfully undecided whether to pour libation or whether the host would be annoyed. Ekwe and fellow traditionalists yelled at him, pour it away." The palm wine was splattered on the ground. Cletus was relieved. Ebio traditionalists met and resolved to forestall further ignominy perceived from Cletus and charged Ekwe to usurp him. Ekwe had since remained barefaced and poured libation at every event in the kindred he was present despite resentment. Like any other maiden whose traditional marriage was to be held the next day, Rita was in her joyous mood. But a wince of worry occasionally flickered her virtuous face, a flash of anxiety about the undesirable outcome that would result if Ekwe threw propriety to the winds and poured libation before the guests, including the parish priest. Rita left friends and relatives who buzzed about in the house that evening and strode out with a bag containing a bottled wine. Ekwe sat in his living room with his chest bare when he heard a knock and tiredly urged the visitor to come in. He just returned from the farm. Rita exchanged greetings with him on Saturday. "You are welcomed. I hope you are preparing for tomorrow," Ekwe cackled. "The D-Day." Rita tinkled a laugh. "Yes, that is actually the reason why I have come to see you." She brought out the wine from the bag and dropped it on the table. "This is for you. Your favorite." Rita giggled. "Hey, Rita, this is my best wine," Ekwe exclaimed. "Thank you so very much. I am grateful. I don't want you to pour palm wine on the ground tomorrow during the marriage ceremony. It is against my faith." Rita was stern. "Besides, many of our church members will be present, including our priest," she said. "Also, when you will be praying, don't call out to the ancestors or idols." Her nuances now looked pleading. "Please assure me now that you won't do any of this." Ekwe heaved, trying to resent but later relaxed. "Okay. If you insist, I won't. But I must tell you honestly that prayer is very crucial and effective," he pointed out. "It is very necessary that the rite be fully observed so that your marriage will be successful. Please don't. I insist. It is against my faith. Just drink it after the prayer." "Okay, I won't. Are you happy now?" Ekwe smiled. "Yes," Rita replied, smiling too. "I will be going. Thank you once again for the wine." Rita left, met Ochibo as he walked with a springy step approaching the entrance to the compound, and greeted him. The harmattan wind was progressively becoming noticeable. Ekwe sat on the wooden recliner placed on the veranda, in an excited mood, his shirt hung on his shoulder to savor the scarce breeze. Ochibo bellowed in greeting. Ekwe hailed him in response. They shook hands and Ochibo sat beside. "You feel disturbed?" Ochibo asked, in grimness. Is there any problem? Rita just came here, Ekwe said. You saw her outside? Yes, what is the matter with her? She came here to beg me not to fully do the normal rites when praying at her marriage ceremony tomorrow. I should not call our ancestors and clan deity. Damn! Ochibo exclaimed, frowning. So that means her late father, Chokujiok, and Mazwa, her grandfather, will not be called to be present and drink at their daughter's marriage ceremony. That is it. She even gave me wine to persuade me not to call them or pour libation for them. Ekwe, now listen very carefully. Ochibo sounded so gravely. He reminded Ekwe that as far as they were concerned, he was the eldest person who was supposed to be praying for them in any ceremony in the kindred. But we will not waste time to deny you that right and privilege, Ochibo warned, if we find you reneging. Just as we have denied it to Patrick and Co, who are older than you, he said. Ochibo, I won't agree to her request. Ekwe asked Ochibo reassuringly whether he had forgotten how he chased out the young man and his relatives who came to ask for her daughter's hand in marriage. At the first proceedings, Ekwe reiterated, they insisted that wine should not be poured as libation to my ancestors and to the clan deity. I had to show them out of my compound because of that. He raised his voice emphatically. And now my daughter is happily married to another man who agreed to my terms. Ekwe, we will not be intimidated, Ochibo burst out, with confidence, by whosoever as we pledge to keep to our custom in this hamlet. I will drink her wine and still pour libation tomorrow, Ekwe vowed. Let me go and bring it. He rose and dashed into the room.